talk about the #1 tarot card that I hate to pull in a reading, always. And I think everyone's got this card, right? We all have. If you study the tarot, if you see it, and you're just like, oh, no, not that one. I don't want that one. I don't like what that means. There's certain cards we all kind of like know of as the quote-unquote negative cards. Some people might think of like the Devil or the Tower or the Death card or things like this within the major arcana, or there's like a couple others that definitely when they come up you're just like, oh no, that looks morbid and awful, and especially there's a couple ones in the sword section that really just, that when they come up for me, I also get really nervous, but never as much as this card. And I think that all comes down to kind of our own personalities and where we come from stuff, right? So like, I love change. I'm addicted to it, even though change makes me very nervous when it is good and I have to kind of come out of my comfort zone to move forward for something. There are also times where, because I hate staying stagnant no matter what, but I always like comfortable change, so uncomfortable change becomes a little bit of a pushback for me at times, but I still love it. So when I see things like the Tower or the Devil or the Death card even, they're all markers of change. They're all markers of that, like, hey, major shifts are happening, major stuff is about to come forward. And maybe that's because before the year where I really took on the word witch, I was very stagnant, very stuck, and so any sign that things are moving forward still for me just makes me like, oh, makes me so happy. And I love to see the Chariot, and the Wheel of Fortune is still one of my most favorite cards because it just makes me feel like, okay, things are in rotation. Regardless of how I feel about that rotation, it is moving, it is changing, and I'm just gonna have to learn and adapt. The card I hate to pull at all times. Temperance. If you saw my If I Were the Fool video, which is my rendition of me going through the Fool's Journey, I mentioned in this card that when I am missing something, I like to almost overcompensate for things. When it comes to balance, I find it almost terrifying in a way because I am terrified of getting stuck. So I'm going to read the actual definition for this. This is from the Wild Unknown deck, and it's actually, this card itself in this deck is absolutely gorgeous. Like, that is beautiful with the heron and the fire and the water coming off of it. Like, you have this perfect balance and all of the colors on it is just, and then I read that word at the bottom and I just like, no, I don't like balance. And I think that is it. My linking of balance to stagnation worries me. I almost feel like you have to in some ways be off balance a bit at all times to be growing, because if you're perfectly balanced, you are stagnant in a sense. You are very just like, boom, cemented. You are not moving. And I think because at times, even though I adore change, I fear the big changes that I'm uncomfortable with. And I just stick to little changes that keep me quote unquote balanced, and then I'm stuck. And I hate it. I hate being stuck. Let's see. So actual definition within the lovely, well-known book is: Temperance, healing, renewal. The great blue heron remains calm and peaceful as she blends the opposing elements of fire and water. The Temperance card asks you to be a moderator, much like the heron. Focus on cooperation and compromise. If you've been excessive in one aspect of your life, practice self-restraint and moderation now. You'll find a new sense of healing and balance from bringing a little harmony back into your life. So the renewal part of this, I think, I do not hit upon ever. It doesn't feel renewal to me. It feels almost like, especially because when I'm in such a huge thing of change and I do go into extremes, I do that because I feel like it's a driving push forward. It's always something that is making me want to move. It's making me want to grow and reach for the next part of my life, the next aspect. And I can keep balance with the little things and other stuff like that, but when it comes to actual balance, big picture life stuff, I really struggle with that. And I really struggle with, I think, probably because every time I reach for balance, when I feel like I really need it and I just make it a big part of my life, it is nothing but a month or two later when I feel stuck and stagnant and sad. And the balance is almost a trigger for me going into that level of my life. So that's what's, I just cannot, every time I get this, like, I've been trying to kind of like work through some of that a bit. Like, why am I so hating of balance? Doing that video about the Fool's Journey really made me realize that the Devil card didn't scare me. The Tower card really didn't scare me. Like, I really actually enjoyed creating those pages of that video and that book, and drawing them kind of like excited something in me. But when I had to come and draw this, I immediately kind of knew what to draw, but the entire time I was drawing it just felt very like, oh, don't like it. So comment down below, what is a card in a deck? Either maybe it's a little quote-unquote cliche in a sense, where it is one of the cards that gives foreboding in your life. Comment down below what's a card that you cannot stand every time you see it, or no matter what, you're just like, oh, not this one again. When it gets drawn, when the deck is trying to tell you a little something there. Maybe it is something a little bit random like Temperance for your card as well. Maybe it is something like the Tower or the Devil, where you're just like, please don't. I do not like my foundation rocked at all. Comment down below, because this is the card that I cannot stand to see, and I'm trying to work through that a little bit, but it might just be something that I'm like, just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the balance at all. Anyway, I'm making new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can find me as Shadow Harvest on the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Is there any other places I am? You can visit my website if you are interested in more of my blog posts. Some of the more creative, comic-y things I have up there as well. Shadow Harvest Witch at squarespace.com, because the actual .com one apparently doesn't want to work. Website struggles, people, website struggles. Anyway, like and subscribe if you are all about it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.